Hey, what's going on guys, Tiger here. So today I got a new build to show off for you guys. As you can see on the screen, we're going for Stasis Warlock. But to jump right in, basically the main focal points of this build are going to be Osmiomancy Gloves, that way you get an extra cold snap grenade. It also, when you throw them, it recharges faster, and it also increases the seeker distance for how far the cold snap grenades can go. And then on top of that, there's really two options that I like to use for this build. I'll be showing off both in the video. Feel free to stick around to watch that, see which one suits you better. But one, as you can see, Conditional Finality. Basically with your subclass options, after you kill somebody with the stasis pellets, it will freeze them. And after they die to the freeze, it will send a seeker out just like another cold snap. So you essentially get another cold snap every time you get a kill with this shotgun. And honestly, it's really fun to use. But then also the other option that I like using is Cryosthesia. And basically this just pairs really well with the whole stasis build. Because after you get a kill with the gun in its regular mode, you can hold down your reload button and basically it'll load a shot of what is basically a dusk field grenade. And after you hit somebody, if you hit them direct impact with it, it'll completely freeze them. But then other than that, really I just like pairing a few different things with conditional finalities, basically SMG, hand cannon, a pulse sometimes. Kind of just depends on the map and how I want to play the build. And then likewise with Cryosthesia, either use shotgun, sniper, fusion, something like that. But then jump into the subclass options. I'm basically just using Healing Rift, Burst Glide, the only melee that you can use for Stasis Warlock, Cold Snap Grenades obviously, and then for the aspects, this is where it gets kind of interesting. The first one I'm using is Frost Pulse. Now really this doesn't affect too many engagements, but when you do really need it, it's very, very strong. Basically all it does is when you cast your Rift, your Healing Rift, it will create a shockwave and basically it freezes anybody that's caught in like this radius around it. It's really good for when you need to heal up around a corner and then say you're getting pushed by somebody with a shotgun. If you drop the Rift at the right point, not only will you be healing, but it also frees them and basically just guarantees you the gunfight. And then second, I'm using Ice Flare Bolts. Basically, I really like using this with especially conditional finality, as I said before, about how when you freeze the target with the pellets, it'll create another seeker. So every time you freeze somebody with this build, after you shatter them or kill them, whatever happens after the freeze, it'll spawn up another seeker that tracks to somebody else and will also freeze them. So not only are you freezing the one person and getting the kill, you don't have to do any additional work. It will go seek completely on its own and freeze somebody else, and it's really, really strong. And then for the fragments, which I think is the most important part of the build, basically I'm running Whisper of Rending, which whenever you freeze targets, your primary weapons will do more damage to them, which really helps out with Cryosthesia. And whenever you're not able to take the gunfight with conditional finality, it just makes you do a little bit extra damage whenever they're frozen. And honestly, having an extra damage boost on top of them being frozen means you win a lot of fights that you normally wouldn't. Next, I'm using Whisper of Torment. Basically, I just like using this because whenever you're playing with this build, you're going to be taking damage quite a lot. So being able to get that grenade energy back to have more cold snap grenades to throw, honestly, I just feel like it's really, really useful. After that, we have Whisper of Chains. And basically what this does is whenever you freeze a target and you're next to them, it'll give you damage reduction from enemies around you. Plus, it gives you plus 10 recovery, so I think this is super crucial to have on, especially because you're going to be freezing everybody with this build. So it's basically a constant damage reduction if you're near them. And lastly, and arguably most importantly, Whisper of Durance. And all this does is basically makes the slow from your abilities last longer. I think it's super necessary because for some of the abilities, the slow doesn't last all that long, especially if they have higher resilience, I believe helps out with that. So having this fragment on and make it last a little bit longer ends up winning you more fights than you would think. Plus it gives you plus 10 strength, which helps out with your melee regen, so you're going to end up getting that back a little bit faster. And then just to go over stats, what I think is the best three to focus on, what I personally choose is Recov, Discipline, and Intellect. And basically my reasoning behind that is Recov is kind of king for Crucible right now. Being able to regen health back faster after you lose it is super important to me. And then also with Osmiomancy Gloves, being able to have 2 of the charges, the faster you can get them back with having a higher discipline, I think is the better. You're able to freeze more targets, you get it back super quick. And as you can see, the cooldown is almost a minute exactly. So pretty strong there. And then I think it's super important to have your intellect as high as possible as well. Shadebinder, although it's not the best super in the game right now, can be super useful in situations. Although the timer is super long, I think it's a base like 11-minute cooldown or something crazy like that. So having high intellect and being able to get that back a little bit faster, I think is super important. And then the mods are basically all up to you. Basically, I just like using things like targeting, unflinching, dexterity, stuff like that to help boost out my weapons. Although I think it's super important on this build to run Reaper. Basically, whenever you place your Rift, your next kill will generate an Orb of Power. You can use that however you want. For me, it tends to be weapon surges or things like Font of Wisdom, so I can get my super back a little bit faster. But yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate a like, comment, sub, all that great stuff. If you do feel like supporting the channel a little extra, there is a join button below, or if you want to join as a member. There are a bunch of different perks you can read through, see if that's something you'd want to do. It really does help me out more. Without further ado, let's get right into the games, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, Endless Veil. Spawned in late, it looks like. But it should not be a bad... Okay, I was gonna say it should not be a bad map to test out the Conditional Finality version of the build with. Track, yes! So good. I have to reload. I'm trying to wrap around actually. That guy was trying to style on me. Nah, I slowed out too far. Okay, it spawned us near heavy. I'm just gonna grab while I'm here. Although I do just have a sword. Why is this guy running? Okay. I'll take that. Take the Conditional Finality kill. Nobody around to chain the Seekers to though, so that's a bit unlucky. What is that guy doing? He was going crazy. Okay, we'll take that. Track. Okay. I know it wouldn't kill him, but I wanted to see this slow track. I'm just gonna keep going middle, honestly, and fighting this. Actually, I'm gonna grab heavy while I'm here. That guy. Poor guy. Take the shotgun kill again. Honestly, one thing I really like about this build is it flows really well together. Get time to heal. Yeah, he had duality. But no, this build does flow really well together. Like, by the time you throw a cold snap grenade, they spawn behind me. Yeah, by the time you get a cold snap grenade and kill the person you froze, it seems like you're already getting another one back. And not to mention, if you get a Conditional Finality kill while it's on stasis, you pretty much get a free cold snap. It's kind of nice. Oh my god, my movement was terrible. And I can't believe I won that. I think they're gonna go towards heavy here. I was not expecting that guy to turn around. Okay, we'll take the heavy. Shotgun kill it is. That was a fun game though. This build plays really well on this map, I feel like. Like next Trials map, or next Trials week that has this map in it, I'm for sure using this build. Not a bad game though. 20 defeated, 5 KD, 7 streak. We'll take that any day. Okay, now we try out the Cryosthesia version of this build. Wait, hello? Okay. I'm gonna let that nade do its thing and I'm gonna run around. I actually have LN2 burst ready as well. God, that's so much fun to use. No, I couldn't run. I froze him too. Honestly, I can see myself a lot getting killed. That's a good spawn. Love this build. But no, what I was saying is I can see myself getting killed a lot trying to use the LN2 burst on this gun. Just because I haven't used it. Wanted that kill. Just because I haven't used it a whole lot, getting used to it, I feel like there's a learning curve to it. I saw the Juggernaut Titan running at me. All hope that I had to win that fight, just left. It was gone. I haven't seen that in a minute in PvP. This build is so nice. This gun is not bad up close. It's just finding the range where it works the best. Like there. The 57 to the head. Nasty. So good. It's a little out of this gun's range. What? They're fighting all around me, but not fighting me. This is fine. This is fine. I don't mind this. Okay. I can't believe I just won that. I'm gonna die here, but that's fine. Okay. If I would have got the freeze off, stunned him, and it still worked. Ah, this build's OP. Okay, not the best shots there, but they work. Let's get the LN2 burst active and pick up heavy. Okay, that was just toxic. I feel like I can't find anybody. This map is so big for a rumble. No, he fell off the man. Didn't even give me the kill either. How do I win that? I'm actually shocked. I have no clue how that melee hit or anything. I don't know how I won that. Okay, we take those. Okay, now that was a crazy spawn. Okay, this is toxic. Oh, give me the kill. I was gonna say. Okay, I'm gonna try and not get myself killed with the all-in-2 burst this time. Okay. Don't know how I feel about it, honestly. Honestly, what a freeze.
I love it.
We're not gonna talk about that. Nothing happened there.